Thank you for joining us, America. We're glad you are here. Open phones at 888-825-5225. You jump in. We'll talk about your life and your money. Andrew is with us in Seattle. Hey, Andrew, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing well, Dave. Thanks so much for taking my call, and thanks for what you do.
Thank you. How can I help, sir?
Well, I have been in my first job out of college here just for 3.5 months now. And yesterday I was fortunate to receive a job offer from a clinic that I had applied to prior to getting this employment, and they're asking me if I would come over there.
Mm-hmm. Clinic. You're a doc?
I am a veterinarian.
A veterinarian. Okay. And
Yes.
why would you leave?
A lot of it has to do with the compensation and benefits package. So,
Okay, so what are you making now?
I make $60,000 a year.
And what would you make over there?
The base would be $70,000, although they had told me that after about 90 days it would go to a production-based schedule.
Which would result in what?
Well, if I did as well as I did last month at my current clinic, I would make about $120,000. Given that's not every month, that was a busier month, but even on average.
So this other clinic is going to double your income.
Some months, yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. So, I mean, 1 month a year, or what is your income potential? What do you really think you're going to make at the new place in a year?
85 to 90.
Instead of 60?
Yes.
And you're locked in at 60. You don't get 60 plus production.
Correct. And so I don't think my question is necessarily, do I take this other job? The question I really have is, how do I talk to my current boss, who has been my mentor for 9 years, and who thinks, I think he gets the impression I'm staying long term. How do I even have this conversation? Because I want to do the right thing. I don't want to leave him high and dry, but at the same time, I just had a child. You know, we have a lot of debt to conquer, and this is what we need to do. I don't know how to approach this with him.
Okay, I'm still stuck on the fact that you're 100% sure you need to do it. I want to circle one more time before I land the plane. Okay.
Okay.
Your production, your compensation package at the old place is not going to make you a dime more than $60,000 in the coming 12 months.
Correct.
The other place, the projection is 85.
Yes.
And up from there, probably.
Correct.
Why are they willing to pay you so much more?
I don't know, and that's a really good question. And part of it, I wonder, is if my being employed and being mentored by this particular individual for the last, better part of a decade, if he just has trouble seeing me as a professional or can't compensate me in that way.
So you've only been a DVM for 3.5 months, but you've been working there just helping him up until then.
Correct, yes.
Okay. Well, that's possible. That's possible. Well, the way to answer these questions are just change shoes. Okay?
Yeah.
You've mentored a young guy all the way from high school, cleaning out cages, all the way up till he gets his DVM. He's been working for you for 3.5 months. You care about him. He's got a baby. He's got veterinarian student loans, and he works for you making 60, and he's got an opportunity to make 85. If I'm in that guy's shoes, I'm happy for you.
Okay.
Wouldn't you be if you had a young man you had mentored and you'd want him to make more and win, right?
Yes.
Now, if there's some things that have been unsaid and he starts saying them, like, I'd like to match that, then you've got a different scenario to look at. And I was kind of hoping you'd buy into this practice in the future. And in the meantime, I'd like to match the production to get you out of student loan debt. I hadn't really thought about it. I thought starting you at 60 was fair, but apparently the market's higher than I realized. Then that gives you something to stop and think about. So, what I'm going to do is just approach it from the angle of how would I want to be treated if I were him? If you were him, how would you want you to treat you? I'd want you to come in and be very grateful for what's happened so far and just go, I know you care about me, and I know that, and I appreciate all you've invested into me. And you know I've got all these loans, and you know that extra $25,000 is a lot. I've got to take this unless you give me some kind of reason to not take it. And you're my mentor. I trust you. I think you would tell me to take this. This is you talking to him.
Exactly right. And I recall you saying something similar in the past to another caller. I just don't want I don't want to change the relationship by asking for this bump or using the offer as leverage.
No, and just say that. Then just say that. Just say that. Okay. I'm not in here to blackmail you. I'm in here in a very awkward conversation. I think I need to take this job.
Right. This is what I need.
And it's awkward because I am so grateful for all you've done for me.
Right.
But I'm not so grateful that I'm going to sit here and make $25,000 a year less, nor would I think you'd want me to because you're a man of integrity.
Well, and if I'm not happy there, then he doesn't want me for a year or 2 years. It's better to break off early, I think.
Yeah, but I think if he's a real mentor, now if he's using all of this to try to get cheap labor, then you may get a different reaction out of him, and you can't control his reaction. All you can control is how you approach it. But you approach it with class and dignity and gratitude, and in no way infer that he should match it. But if he starts doing that, then you should listen.
Right.
And say, well, I'm happy to talk about that, but I wouldn't want to come in here and blackmail you. Our relationship or negotiate with you, our relationship means too much to me to use this as leverage on you. And so I just assumed I was supposed to take this. But if you want to talk about it, we'll talk about it. But no, I'm not going to stay at 60.
Okay, that's very helpful. And the worst he can do is fire me, right?
Yeah, and he's not going to. And is he a jerk?
Not generally. There's some suspect stuff and kind of red flags and a different culture at the newer facility that I'd be going to. That there's a lot of intangibles as well that make it a better deal.
Well, I mean, it may be that he has been using all of this as leverage on you, in which case you may get a very negative, you owe me, you're my slave reaction, and you can't control that. All you can do is control you and how you've approached it.
Okay, and the other thing I didn't mention is I have attempted to negotiate in the past, and I didn't get any. They didn't budge whatsoever, so that kind of sends me a little bit of a message.
Yeah, and you can just say that. I tried, and this thing came up, and I had talked to them before I talked to you, and they came back. I wasn't out searching, but they came over here and dropped it in my lap, and I had a young man leave here the other day, and he doubled his income. I can't say anything to him except just awesome, good for you. Otherwise, I'm being selfish, and I'm just thinking about me. I mean, gosh, this guy's got a young family, and he doubled his dadgum income. I'll help you pack your desk, It's just it's good for you, man. I'm sorry. I don't want him to leave, but I'm not matching that. I'm not even going to talk about it. Good luck with that. I hope it works. And, but, it's incumbent upon him to have class in the conversation as well, and you can't control that. And you can't be manipulated by the background in terms of you staying in an untenable situation either. So I think you're taking the thing, and my only hope is that he reacts in a gentlemanly, proper way. Good question. Hey, folks, those of you that lead, those of you that run organizations, and maybe you own the business, your job as a leader is to serve. Real leadership is serving those on your team. And so when a young woman comes in like that, you don't have an option. Now, I've had them come in and tell me some cock and mamie story that, somebody offered them 3 times what they were worth. And I'm like, dude, this is not going to work out because, honestly, your marketplace value is not there. I mean, as your mentor, I'm going to mentor you, serving you. I've told them, but other times I just go, hey, I hope you pack your desk. It's a great offer, I care about our folks, and I care about them having a good life, whether or not it's here. Turns out you can not work here and still go to heaven. It's not a cult. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.